through the cloud.
Great.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thanks for coming. And we'll just get started here. So reason, of course, teaching today is Rinpoche's leading wonderful White Tara retreat this weekend that we're going to be going to, this and that. And you never schedule anything at the same time as your guru, needless to say. So, but I just figured because I'd missed those 2 weeks, it's nice to keep on track and offer the class now. Good. So let's just start with the Heart Sutra. Hang on, my phone. Okay. Okay, starting with again our little meditation on emptiness to clear obstacles and set our view. Homage to the perfection wisdom of the Blessed Mother. Thus, I've heard at one time the Blessed One was dwelling in Rajgir and Masvalkar's mountain, where the great assembly of monks and a great assembly of Bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One was absorbed in the concentration of countless aspects of phenomena called profound illumination. That time also Superior Balakshvara, the Bodhisattva of the Great Being, was looking perfectly at the practice of profound perfection of wisdom, looking perfectly also at the 5 aggregates being empty of inherent existence. Then through the power of Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said to Superior Balakshvara, the Bodhisattva of the Great Being, how should a son of the lineage train who wishes to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom? Thus he spoke, and Superior Balakshvara, the Bodhisattva of the Great Being, replied to Venerable Shariputra as follows. Shariputra, whatever son or daughter of the lineage wishes to engage in the practice of profound perfection of wisdom should look perfectly like this. Subsequently, looking perfectly and correctly also at the 5 aggregates being empty of inherent existence. Form is empty and emptiness is form. Emptiness is none other than form. Form is none other than emptiness. Likewise, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, like this, all phenomena are emptiness, having no characteristics. They're not produced and do not cease. They have no defilement, no separation from defilement. They have no decrease and no increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness. There is no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mentality. No form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no tactile object, no phenomenon. There is no I element, and so forth up to no mentality element, also up to no element of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance and no exhaustion of ignorance, and so forth up to no aging and death, no exhaustion of aging and death. Likewise, there's no suffering, origin, cessation, or path, no exalted awareness, no attainment, also no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, because there's no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and abide in the perfection of wisdom. Their minds have no obstructions and no fear. Passing on or beyond perversity, they attain the final nirvana. Also, all the Buddhas reside perfectly in the 3 times, having relied upon the perfection of wisdom, became manifest, complete Buddhists in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete enlightenment. Wherefore, the mantra of perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the equal of the unequal mantra, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, since it's not false, should be known as the truth. Mantra of perfection of wisdom is proclaimed, Tayanta, Gada Samgada Buddhi Soha. Shariputra Bodhisattva, great beings should train the profound perfection of wisdom like this. Then the Blessed One arose from that concentration and said to Superior Balakshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, that he'd spoken well. Good, good, O son, just like that. Since it's like that, just as you have revealed in that way, the profound perfection of wisdom should be practiced, and the Tathagatas will also rejoice. And the Blessed One had said this of Venerable Shariputra, Superior Balakshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being. The entire circle of disciples, as well as worldly beings, gods, humans, demigods, and spirits, were delighted and highly praised what had been spoken by the Blessed One. Okay, and we'll also do our 9-point breathing here. I thought just for something a little bit different now for it, you could try, I've actually done this, a friend of mine that used to teach, she used to do it this way, which I thought was interesting, but it's maybe a fun little test for you to do, which is rather than closing the nostril, just be in meditation posture and just visualize, like don't close, but just put your mind in your nostril to activate it, if you know what I mean. So when we're inhaling, like right now, so normally we'd be closing the right nostril, inhaling through left, closing left, exhaling through right, getting rid of desires, attachment. Next 3 breaths, anger. Final one's just sort of, we hold the last one as a retention. But just now start where we just focus on our left nostril. And then exhale, focus on your right. If you can feel the sort of your air going in and exhaling through the right. See if you can just do that. It's actually, I think it's actually nice to do, because for more tantric practice, we want to develop our sensibility or sensations or feelings as well as our concentration, wherein you're working with chi or prana. So, obviously if you do it this way, you'll feel it, but just try doing it just by visualizing, putting your mind there. Wherever mind goes, prana goes. Wherever prana goes, mind goes. So finding the indivisibility of those things by working on. So again, 3 breaths outside your right nostril, getting rid of desired attachment. 3 breaths up your left, anger. 3 regular breaths deep, in and out through both nostrils, and hold the last one at your navel before you release. Okay? So inhaling through the left, exhaling through right, and vice versa for 3. Okay. So you can just finish up in your own time here. We'll start the visualization. Okay, again, in a wide open space, ground like lapis. Just sort of like a wide open plain here. We're surrounded by all sentient beings seated around us in vast concentric circles, moving outwards from those closest to us to those unfamiliar. So again, our mother on our left, father on our right, people we love the most behind us support, and people we like the least or have issues with in front of us as objects of meditation, healing, compassion, and so forth. I think that the whole human family, from people from all over the world, are here with us. All human beings. And if you want to get a little confused, you can think of not just this world system, but other possible worlds as well, just like all the different multiverses and this and that. So it's just a huge crowd of people here. Animals from all the different ecosystems here on Earth, from the tiny ones to the big ones, insects to mammals, reptiles, birds, fish, whatever, they're all here. And just as varied and numerous are spirit beings from the spirit world, just think from the astral, ethereal, elemental planes and so forth, all the different kinds of spirits, bardo beings and so forth, all from the in-between states here among us. Celestial beings, so demigods and gods, and just think of even different the god realms here, formless realm gods, form gods, so forth, desire realm, this and that. They're all here. And then countless numbers of beings in lower states of rebirth, different sort of nightmare states, different hells and hungry ghost states, and so forth. And again, it's the whole sentient being family, so we're all kind of blissed out and happy and meditating together. And just feel that, different spirit beings, hungry ghosts, hell beings, animals, this is a way for them to be set up in contact with the Dharma by us doing this on their behalf, sort of making prayers for them. again, if you have any people that are in distress or suffered losses or whatever, I've got a bunch of friends in trouble right now at work, this and that. Just samsara, wheels of samsara turn. We can always put these people just ahead of us here in the crowd, keep them close to us and say prayers on their behalf. So we'll just keep it a little simpler today, just for time constraints. We're just going to visualize simple rather than the elaborate Giorgio refuge tree. We're just going to visualize just the central figure, Buddha Shakyamuni, in the sky here today, just to keep the time. It's already 10 after here. So let's visualize beautiful blue sky like a dome above us. And in the sky like a sun, beautiful summer sun, or if you like a harvest moon, if that's a little easier. In the sky is Buddha Shakyamuni, sort of the source of teachings of this form of Buddhism at this time. All of our teachers teaching us now are descended in this lineage, kind of like a waterfall or river from all the teachings and spiritual example of Buddha Shakyamuni. We're so fortunate. So just we visualize him in what they call supreme Nirmanakaya form, sort of typical form you see him in. So we'll visualize him on a little white lion throne there, square lion throne. On it is a 1,000-petal multicolored lotus. On that's a moon, then on that's a sun. Moon disk and sun disk. And then he has a beautiful golden energy body or light body, or the 3 robes of a monk in lotus position. His left hand holds a begging bowl at his lap with medicinal nectar in it, and right hand is in the subduing mood for touching the earth. And he's been in golden light, just so beautiful, just like a beautiful moon or beautiful sun here, luminous in the sky. And then at his heart, of course, is his higher form, sort of where his root mind or mind of clear light is sort of metaphorically, say the symbol of that is his form, his angelic form of Conqueror Vajradhara in union with his partner Vajradhara. So Vajradhara is as beautiful sapphire blue color, both of them sort of made out of energy or light, so a little bit translucent, and they're wearing crowns and jewelry and so forth. And he's in lotus position, embracing her, and she's straddling his lap, arms around his neck. He's holding a bell in his left hand, Dorje or Vajra scepter in his right. She's got a skull cup Manosa nectar in her left hand and curved Drigu or cleaver chopper knife in her right hand. And we can visualize even at the heart level between them the seed syllable for Dharmakaya or Buddha's wisdom truth body or omniscient mind, which is a hum, H-U-M in English, blue, and softly radiating the 5 elemental color lights. So white, red, yellow, green, and blue in all directions, just kind of like a big bubble going out. Okay, so taking refuge from our hearts here, I and all sentient beings to achieve enlightenment, go refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I and all sentient beings and to achieve enlightenment, go refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. I and all sentient beings to achieve enlightenment, go refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Through the virtues we collect by giving other perfections, may we become a Buddha for the benefit of all. Through the virtues we collect by giving other perfections, may we become Buddha for the benefit of all. Through the virtues we collect by giving other perfections, may we become a Buddha for the benefit of all. So generating refuge in the 3 jewels and bodhicitta motivation, wanting to get enlightened, reach full Buddhahood, that we lead all sentient beings to that same state. So it's a blessing purification. First, the purification when beautiful white lights are coming down from the hearts of Vajradhara and Vajradhara there. Sort of a soft moonlight coming down, purifying all sentient beings around us. Just like with lights dispelling a shadow, you've got sort of a shadowy room you look in, it's all kind of dark and kind of creepy. You flip the overhead light and ding, everything's sort of bright. Same kind of thing, all sentient beings' negativities are being dispelled or chased away in the same way. For ourselves, we can visualize white nectar, kind of like an energy coming down into us, around our head, flushing us all out. Kind of like a soapy gel, if you want, like the hand soap is the gel. And when you put water, all the dirt goes away, just from the top of our head down to our feet. Body, subtle body, mind, everything, body, speech, and mind, all of these things being cleaned up. When we look around, we're all sort of crystal clear here, us and all sentient beings, sort of luminous, glowing. And now the sort of empowerment energy comes down, golden light coming down from Buddha's heart. And just like sunlight, ourselves, we can have the light as well as if you want kind of like a gel or energy or plasma or whatever, nectar coming into you. Filling us up again with all the Sutra and Tantra teachings, or all the Dharma realizations. 3 scopes of LamRim, different 21 objects there, all sort of just going directly into our nervous system. Just like a download. We're just downloading all the PDFs of all Buddhism, so to speak, going right into our mind. And just like updating your phone, you're getting a systems upgrade here. Just like our video game character, you're getting powering up here. A mind that's blissful, joyful, wise, compassionate, and powerful. Generating the 4 measurables. Here we can even radiate that light outwards here, giving compassion, love, joy, and equanimity to all beings. As we go, may everyone be happy. May everyone be free from misery. May no one ever be separated from their happiness. May everyone have equanimity, free from hatred and attachment. 7-limb practice, making this Buddhist practice here. So prostration, just we prostrate body, speech, and mind to Buddha Shakyamuni, the merit field here. Feel that we're all doing prostrations, singing praises, having a mind of devotion or faith. Now, offerings, just opening our heart, mind of generosity. Again, we can just offer all beautiful things. It's all different, typical outer offerings in Tantra: water for drinking, water for washing, flowers, incense, lights, perfume, food, music. You can do that, or different levels of offering, of course, inner, secret, and suchness offerings, or just in general, like I say, I like offering flower offerings from my heart here, or candle or light offerings. So for me, just visualizing, I just put out flowers in all directions here as far as the eye can see. Just like Samantha Badra, famous Bodhisattva. Confession and rejoicing. So standing in front of Buddhas and just sort of standing up. It's kind of like our recovery moment here. We're standing up in front of all sentient beings and Buddha Shakyamuni. And of course, we're naked, completely on show here, just sort of saying, just acknowledging and owning all of our bad qualities and mistakes and character flaws and so forth. All of our delusions, our bad unconscious, this and that, and just say, here I am, warts and all, and I'm on the path to self-perfection here, to enlightenment. So all these bad habits and character flaws and so forth and delusions, I know what some of them are, everyone else knows what the rest of them are. So yes, I'm going to make an effort to overcome all these, outgrow them, let them go, shed them like dirty clothing as I walk towards the light. And all sentient beings in the Buddhist, please help me do this. Please support me and call me out on this and help me grow. And rejoicing now just at all even the good qualities we've done, just ourselves, but the good qualities of all the Buddhas and angels and all the good virtues in beings around us being shown every day, all the little acts of kindness and so forth. We're just rejoicing in that. Now asking Buddhas to stay and to teach. So Buddha Shakyamuni, we represent all holy beings, just holding at our hearts here. Lion throne that we send up, please always continue to be in our life. Buddha Shakyamuni in the form of our teachers. Never leave us, always be there. And then our spoked golden Dharma chakra we send up to, dissolves into Buddha's throne. Just always continue to teach us and guide us. Most of the time, unfortunately, when we're setting Dharma, it means telling us stuff we don't like or don't want to hear as we self-overcome. But as hard as this process is, the hardest alchemical work, turning from lead into gold, from crap into gold, please never give up on us. Continue to help us along in this process. Continue to teach us and guide us. They're the guides with the map and the light to show us to enlighten here. And then dedication, just dedicating from our heart all of our virtues, even our practice today, for the enlightenment of all sentient beings. Okay. Holding at our heart, the mandala here. Beautiful purified universe that we're going to send out here. And again, you can just have it as the Vedic universe if you like, Mount Meru with 4 continents, 8 subcontinents, all the precious possessions of a Chakravartin Emperor Empress, all different wisdom, knowledge goddesses with the sensuous offerings and so forth, sun and moon, victory banner and parasol and everything here. All beautiful flowers, everything, just everything as far as the eye can see. Wonderful mandala here. The ground sprinkled with perfume, and spread with flowers, great mountain, 4 lands, sun and moon, seen as a Buddha land and offered thus. And all beings enjoy such pure lands. Now the inner mandala, I offer that without any sense of loss, the objects that give rise to my attachment, hatred, and confusion, my friends, enemies, and strangers, our bodies, and all enjoyments, please bless me to be released from the 3 poisonous minds of attachment, anger, and ignorance. Yeah, find the secret mandala just to our yidam, to our main practice, our main angel that is our root teacher that guide us in this life. We offer to you, Buddha Shakyamuni, our protector, our precious root guru. Great mountain, 4 lands, precious substances, all beautiful things that have risen from my aggregates, elements, and sources that are indivisible for the spontaneous awareness mixed with emptiness. Let's offer this at our heart. Om Menam Guru Radha Mandala Kamyotiyami. Send forth this jewel mandala to you, precious gurus. And now with that, again, golden lights and nectar as the blessing comes down again. This is sort of shamanic reciprocity. We make offerings, the spirit world gives back blessings or energy, guidance. Same thing, we've been opening our heart offering to the merit field here. Shakyamuni, all Buddhas are giving back all the blessing energy. So again, just like sunlight, all that golden energy coming down, blessing us, transforming our mind, making it positive, open, powerful, and creative. Okay, so now just doing dissolution here. It's a little simpler than normally doing the big refuge trees. And we just visualize that beautiful golden lights going out in all directions from Buddha's heart. And then Buddha starts, he's like a big sun in the sky here, starts to melt inwards into his heart. So we can just feel that the lion throne, lotus, and the sun seats start to melt, dissolve into Buddha. He moves and dissolves inward from the top of his head into his feet, inwards to his heart. Let's into the divine couple, Vajradhara and Vajradhatu Ishvari. So just they're in the sky now. Beautiful blue diamond. And then they start to get small. It's about the size of a sunflower seed, softly emitting, there's a rainbow light, the 5 element colors there, white, yellow, red, green, and blue. And now they sort of come down, float down to the top of our head, turn around, facing the same direction. And then very slowly enter our crown chakra here. We're just made out of light, so it's easy for them to do this. And just enter our central channel in front of our spine, slowly descend to our hearts. And when we get there, just feel it dissolve right into our minds. So again, just like some blue food coloring in a big bowl of water, drops, and then just sort of dissolves. Just feel that Buddhist mind in our mind. Dharmakaya and Dharmakaya are one, like water into water. And all these enlightened qualities, just all the love, all the compassion, all the wisdom, all the power going directly into us. Again, feeling great sense of spaciousness and interconnection, sort of bliss, a feeling of completion, totality, no dissatisfaction, but contentment and rest. And then joy, sort of positive power, creativity, energy, happiness, connecting. Okay, so slowly coming out of meditation here. Okay, great. So welcome, everybody. Okay, so today, one more class, which is class 6 here, called Cutting Roots of Virtue, or Projecting Karma. So we're going to have another subdivision of karma, more teachings on karma here. Just you're going to be karma'd out at the end of this course. There's just so much different kinds of karma to learn. And again, there's lots of other discussions of karma, of course, in the LamRim, Chenmo, and LamRim in the initial scope. So I always direct people's attention to those books, Tsongkhapa, any of the many wonderful commentaries like by Gyema Bunker, Sheila Bridge, The Palm of the Hand, and His Holiness Dalai Lama has written a whole bunch of them as well. And there's anyway many LamRim books nowadays. Okay, so projecting karma, cutting roots of virtue, or projecting karma. So cutting your root of virtue, Gyesa Chopa is in Tibetan, I believe I pronounced that right, which is destroying your root of virtue or collection of merit. So what's interesting is to make, how do I put this in an easy way? Basically, to become a Buddha, which is again a completely different form of life, to become like an angel or an angelic being or light being, you have basically, you can divide Buddha up basically into, just like us, into basically Buddha's body and then a Buddha's mind. So the prana with the mind, that we always have prana and mind go together. So the prana becomes, which is like your body basically, and then you have your mind's the same thing with Buddha, of course, is the most subtle prana associated with the mind of clear light. Once you're enlightened, that becomes what the prana becomes the Rupakaya, or the Buddha's body, and then the Dharmakaya is the Buddha's mind. So you need basically to become enlightened, the collection of merit, the good deeds that you do, all your positive vows, all that kind of energy of creating good karma, that goes into sort of purifying, refining, and creating, I guess, making your prana positive enough, that power positive that becomes a Buddha's body. And then, of course, your mind that you're purifying becomes the omniscient Dharmakaya mind of Buddhas. So basically, when you get into the great scope of LamRim, and they give you the 6 paramitas that we all know about and study, of course, this is paramita of giving, of patience, of moral discipline, joyous effort, concentration, and wisdom. The first 4 paramitas, so basically all your giving, all your patience basically in a lot of ways is not retaliating, not getting angry. All of your joyous effort, everything that you're doing with joy, all the different things that you do, positive things that you're doing with the right motivation, joyous, happy, sharing, so forth, positive energy. And then your moral discipline being the big one, all your positive vows, the moral discipline of not doing the bad things, and then the moral discipline of doing the good things. Those 4 paramitas end up being the collection of merit that creates a Buddha's body. The other 2 paramitas of concentration, wisdom, of course, your shamatha and your vipassana, are the things that make your mind concentrated to see emptiness directly. That becomes the enlightened mind of a Buddha. Okay, so basically you need, what's interesting is many times, I've met people over the years, of course, I'm going to sound like a judgmental jerk saying this, of course, very easy for me to be judgmental and a jerk, I'll let you know, but anyway, you meet people that are just focusing so much, every now and then that person who, oh, I'm Buddhist, and they're focusing so much, again, on shamatha and vipassana. They're focusing on their concentrating and mind and wisdom, realizing emptiness, but they're not focusing on collecting merit, doing all offerings, all the pujas, all offerings, but also just most keeping your vows and being a good person. And the point is, you need that collection of merit, that your morality, your goodness, that's what helps you get enlightened. That's what actually allows you to have a Buddhist body. Buddha can't have a mind without a body. So those things are important. So if you do bad karma, you are cutting the roots of virtue. You are cutting this collection of virtue or merit that you need to produce a Buddha's body. So it actually is really serious. Like, so in other words, that's the negative side. The positive side is if you could do good, correct karma or whatever, then you are not cutting the roots of virtue, but strengthening, nourishing, increasing the roots of virtue that you will get enlightened, okay? So, so there's two things that do this from the Abhidharma here, Abhidharma Kosha, Lukta, which is diametric opposite view, and Kantro, which is from Madhyamika. So basically two things that, so maybe you can write this on a post-it note, stick it on your bathroom mirror in the morning, two things not to do, the two things that cut your collection of virtue, that nice store of positive energy that will help you produce a Buddha's body, help you get enlightened. So number one is the diametric opposite view. We also say wrong view, which is basically thinking the complete opposite of how something really exists, okay? So in other words, anytime you're grasping at inherent existence or having wrong views, that's cutting your collection of virtue. We all do that, of course, but I'm just saying this is the big obstacle holding you back. But again, I said, which is, it's not a question, I wrote the notes here for Geshe Michael's notes here, where it's just not a doubt, but a total rejection. So in other words, this is sort of an extreme wrong view. It's not us just being bad Buddhists or dummies where we're, you know, another day, I'm a Buddhist, but I, behave badly. Oh, I feel bad about this. This is like a complete rejection of these teachings, rejection of emptiness, rejection of karma, complete investment in inherent existence, a belief of inherent existence, you should say. So, an example would be this is like one day you decide you hate Buddhism and I hate these teachings of karma. So just to prove how much I completely don't agree with karma, I'm going to do anything I want, including all the bad stuff, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to be as bad a person as possible, almost getting back at the Buddha, so to speak. If you have that kind of a mentality, needless to say, that's going to cut your roots of virtue. And the other one being, which is Kantra, which is anger directed at a bodhisattva. So, or a Buddha, that matter. So having really, really negative minds directed at holy beings. So this happens, unfortunately, there's people that have done that. Again, I don't want to pick on sentient beings that are so misfortunate to do this, but if you look at, let's say, let's say in China Cultural Revolution, communist times, where you had people, when we were in Western Tibet, we were in the ruins of the three Gugge kingdoms on the western part of Tibet, and in Toling, we went to all these old temples that had been destroyed in the Cultural Revolution. I remember our Nepali guide there, Jagat Man, couldn't even go in. He said, I can't even see this. And we went in, and this was, in the 10th century, when all these great Buddhist sages and artisans and scholars came to Tibet with the Mughal invasions, they all ended up having to flee into Nepal and Tibet. Tisha came at that time. You had, I think it's kind of called like a Tibetan Renaissance. Like you can see this huge Renaissance periods of arts and culture in Western Tibet in the sort of Gugge kingdoms. So you can even see this if you look at the Thangkas from that period, from the, let's say, 11th and 12th centuries in Tibet, the really sort of vibrant red colors, sort of more bigger Buddha statue, Buddha pictures and so forth. They're really, really beautiful. Anyway, that was that period. And when we went into the temple, everything was wrecked, and you would see Buddha statues with a bullet hole in them, and everything destroyed, and it was really sad. So to do this, you'd have to have a very negative mind. It's like Rinpoche always said, just like when the Taliban blew up the two Buddhists in Afghanistan. Again, I'm not being so evil Taliban. I'm just saying, those are symbols of kindness, symbols of love. So if you have to have, they're not hurting anybody. I mean, it's just two Buddha statues in a cave or whatever. I mean, what's that doing to the world? I mean, if it's only bringing in goodness and kindness, why not just leave it? So you'd have to have sort of a negative mind, needless to say. So when you have a negative mind like that towards a very, very powerful, virtuous object, the karmic repercussions are really negative. And we can spin this out. Technically, it's not just Buddhist. Technically, if I'm an evil Buddhist and I want to blow up mosques or burn down St. Paul's Cathedral in London or something, they're Christians, I don't like Christians. That's a real negative mind. And hey, those Buddhas are appearing as Jesus Christ, or holy beings are appearing as Muslim mullahs or as the Quran or whatever. These are powerful objects. And so I'm cutting the root of virtue by doing that, harming these, or even just like I say, killing actual beings that we see as Buddhas as well, or bodhisattvas. Okay, so in the Abhidharma teachings, this is more of in the more Hinayana understanding. They say when you do this to your virtues, you completely wipe them out. There's nothing you can do. Whereas in the Madhyamika teachings, more in the Mahayana teachings, they say that the seeds are so severely damaged that they're inhibited from growing and producing a result. It's like they've been scorched, or they're kind of partially rotten or whatever. They can't, your negativity has damaged your merit so much. But we always say purification, like we can actually restore these previous, like if we, the whole thing in Mahayana, because we believe in, there's a complicated argument here, but seeds are something that we can either destroy, or we can nurture, or we can even restore. So these seeds might be so damaged that they don't ripen, but technically with the 4 opponent powers, with doing retreats, with tantric technology, with our meditation, we can restore these kinds of things. We can show remorse, we can build up our merit again. So it's not like you're basically screwed forever. I've been a really bad Buddhist, I've done all these bad things. I can repair these seeds with the right kinds of actions. Now, of course, it's a lot of work. But purification works that way, just as I was saying, is where we damage the seeds so much that they don't have a chance, the negative seeds, to ripen. But again, through my bad karma, I could do the same thing with positive seeds. So anyway, that is what it means to cut the roots of virtue through your bad karma. So we have to make a little vow here that we will not do this, needless to say, because this virtue is this collection of merit is what's going to give us a Buddha's body. Okay, so that's one division. Next division is on projecting karma, which is, we've talked probably about this before, is that there is Penje Keyi, I guess, and Dzogche Keyi, basically projecting karma and then completing karma. So another way of understanding karma is basically the distinction between what we call projecting karma and completing or finishing karma. So what projecting karma is, we've probably heard this before, there's a big discussion in it in LamRim. Projecting karma is strong karma, like for instance, killing, for instance, is one, or like really bad negative minds of malice or something, where if the karma is strong enough that it throws you into a new rebirth. It's the most powerful karma you can have. So it sort of determines your next rebirth. So if I've, let's say, been like a mass murderer or something, that the karmic seeds are so powerful that it'll determine my next life. I'll be like take rebirth in a hell realm or something like that. So it's like you're almost like getting shot out of a cannon. It's projecting you into this next rebirth. Or also like the sense of projecting like a camera or a film. Like this is, the seeds are going to be so strong that you're going to be forced to see these kinds of negative appearances in your next life. Now, of course, existentially, you can take projecting karma to mean that you're always being projected into a bardo. We're always in our life being projected into new situations. We always find ourselves into situations that, quote unquote, we didn't pick. Oh my God, I'm being forced to move to this new country with work, or oh my God, this happened to me, sort of like I'm being projected or sort of pushed along into these new worlds or new realms by my karma. So that's maybe more of a figurative understanding of what projecting karma means, but more the literal case is that the karma is so strong it projects you into the next life. So what completing or finishing karma is, it decides the details of the next life. So it overall determines the sort of finish. So I guess it is kind of like you're buying a new car where you get the main model or a house, the finishings, the details, what are the taps like, what's the kind of fridge you're going to get, this or that. So you can see that, I shouldn't make fun, but let's say just almost in Dante's Inferno here, like we're going to get, I'm like a mass murdering jerk, and ding, I get projected into a hell realm. That's the projecting karma. Now the finishing karma is what kind of punishment or what kind of nightmare is waiting for me once I get there, right? whatever. I mean, for me, it would probably be a never-ending cabin on the plane serving noodle service on a flight to Australia. So there's many horrible situations I could think of, even for myself. But I'm just saying that those are the finishing details. So we can talk about another distinct sort of dividing karma, projecting karma, and completing finishing karma. So usually they told us in the Buddhist teachings, this is the boogeyman to get you to bed. They talk you about the bad projecting karma, the bad finishing karma. But karma is karma. I mean, we can talk about good projecting karma and good finishing karma. In other words, if you're an amazing person, that's like, let's say you're saving lives, you're doing tons of charity work, tons of offerings, all this kind of good projective karma, your next life, bang, you're projected ahead into, let's say, being a person again, and the finishing karma is really good. Like, I'm healthy, I have everything I need, maybe I'm a beautiful person, I have all this charisma, I have all these opportunities and so forth. So the finishing details are really good from the good karma created in past lives. So there's 4 permutations of projecting and finishing karma as example, which is good projection, bad finishing, bad projection, good finishing, good projection, good finishing, bad projection, bad finishing. So, I mean, you can just do the permutations. So in other words, good projection, but bad finishing would be, let's say you're a human being, but you're always sick or have all sorts of problems. In other words, the projective karma, I've ended up taking a human rebirth. I'm not a cockroach. I'm not in some other horrible realm, but the finishing karma is off. Like I have all sorts of obstacles or major problems in my life. Bad projection, but good finishing, which would be, again, let's say hell. The example that was is being in hell, but the Lord of Hell or something. But you can see this, like, let's say my mom's dogs. My mom's dogs, they're a dog, but the human food, they get to sleep in the bed, they're in the trailer all day, they get to watch TV. I mean, or what, like, that's considered a lower rebirth being a dog. But then the good finishing, they have a life. My parents' dogs, my mom's dogs, have, most people in the world don't have a good life like they do. Like, you look at that, and they live an easier and nicer. They get top vet, you know, whatever, they go to the vet if they're sick and they get treatment, this and that. That most people in the world don't have the lives that my parents' dogs have had over the years, right? Good projection and good finishing, obviously, like a good rebirth with everything working out for you. And then, of course, bad projection and bad finishing. We can just say like a lower state of rebirth where you're suffering all the time. Okay, so that's, you know, again, there's a lot more details about that in LamRim Chenmo, in LamRim, you can see. Okay, so just finishing is, the class is basically going on about cutting your roots of virtue, are the 5 heinous actions, the 5 really bad things that you do. So they always say, like, here's, was it Sam Menja, which is they cause you to go to hell next life, no choice. I've also heard, like, basically there's no bardo, like it's so bad, the negative karma, that it's not even that you are in an intermediate state and are kind of wandering around figuring out where you're going to go. It's like wham bam, like pressing a button, bang, you instantly get a negative result from doing these, taking a lower rebirth in hell or whatever. So we've all heard these before. Of course, if you've studied LamRim, which is basically number 1 being killing your mother, number 2 killing your father, number 3 killing an arhat or a Buddhist saint, number 4 is creating a schism in the Sangha, and number 5, which is, well, there's different ways I've seen this. One is drawing blood from a Buddha. It says here, trying to kill a Buddha with evil intent. Of course, you'd have to know who a Buddha is, who is a Buddha. You know, at the time, Buddhist time, it was actually Buddha Shakyamuni, but, you know, just an enlightened being. So those are the 5 really bad things that we don't want to do. So, of course, mom and dad, you can have completely dysfunctional, abusive parents. Oh my goodness, whatever, my dad's an evil guy, he's trying to kill me all the time, I kill him in self-defense. Why would that be a bad thing? So the reason killing your mom and dad, it's kind of interesting, is seen as such a heavy negative action. I always give the example when my mom always read this funny book on Freud, and she said when Freud first went to the States and came back and he got together with Carl Jung, I might have told you the story, and he goes, oh my God, what, you know, they'd never been to the States for, what's the United States like? America, oh my God. And Freud's like, oh, it's great, it's spent time in Europe. He said, it's a weird country, everybody hates their mother. So, you know, like whatever in our culture in North America, you know, everyone hates their parents so much. So of course I always remember in law, you'd say this, oh my God, I hate my mom. I kill her, I go to hell. But that doesn't seem fair. But the point is, that's a bad joke, is that your mom and dad, from a karmic point of view, whatever you think of them, however good they were, however bad they were, they have given you the material for you to get enlightened. They've given you a body and a mind. So that, especially a human body and mind, where you understand language, where you have access to Dharma. So all of our spiritual work that we're doing, even here together today, is because we have a body, speech, and mind that our parents gave us. Whatever you think your parents, you owe them that much. That the reason you're going to get out of samsara, the greatest thing you can do is because of them. So that's the karmic, I guess, the karmic debt, karmic seed, karmic power of your parents. So turning your back on them, killing them, it's kind of like you're kind of metaphorically killing your own enlightenment. That's kind of how they put it. Anyway, that's, I think that that's true myself, but anyway, I know it can be a bit of a debate on this with some people. And of course, killing an arhat, killing the Buddha, or wounding the Buddha, they say. So they say it's kind of order of severity is the worst thing you can do is cause a schism in the Sangha. Next worst thing you do is killing or wounding a Buddha. Next worst thing you do is killing an arhat. And then what's interesting, they say killing your dad is actually worse than killing your mom. I don't know why they did it. And that might just be patriarchal stuff. I don't know. I would think killing your mom's worse. It is, okay, you're right. It's, I'm reading this wrong. So the next one is killing your mom, which is the worst. And then the least worst is, out of the 5 is killing your dad. Yes. So it's actually killing your mom because she's the one that's given birth to you is bad. So the last thing, just to finish, is the creating a schism in the Sangha. So that's considered, again, if you do this, this is, you know, go to jail, go directly to jail, do not pass go, do not collect $200 in Monopoly. Like you go, you know, directly to hell, so to speak. So, you know, the tree jewels are these extraordinary objects, rejecting them, causing any problems with them, what they stand for, the whole community, it's extremely negative karma. Now, the technical definition of this is the Dabi Dharma, this is the legal definition of creating a schism, saying that you have to be an ordained person, you have to lie intentionally, says teaching 5 inaccurate rules to get to nirvana. So lying intentionally, creating, there's sort of like, I guess, inaccurate rules here, like problems in the Sangha. 12 years after the Buddha begins teaching, the 2 main disciples of Buddha must be present. And there's no reparation done within 24 hours or something. I don't know if I've written all this down correctly, but anyway, so they give a direct, what a lot of people say is, well, you know, causing a schism of Sangha, that was only during Buddha's time. So in other words, 2,500 years ago, if you were there with Buddha's disciples and you cause a main political split and you destroy the community, that's the big sort of negative karma here. However, that might be the technical legal definition of it. But we all know that causing any kind of division in the Sangha is extremely negative and powerful, bad karma. So we've seen all this. I mean, if you're in any kind of religious community, Tibetan Buddhism, Buddhism in general, is all sorts of politics and problems. You see how easy it is to, I mean, well, whatever, it's so easy to create a schism in the Sangha. Like even in our own friends here, we're just like, oh, we don't like Deb, we don't want her to come anymore. So let's tell her the meditation's at 10 o'clock rather than 9 o'clock. Like there's ways of just being totally, you know, evil, I guess, and causing divisions in the Sangha. And they can be really, really big. As you know, Sanghas, I've been around long enough, almost 30 years in Dharma. I've seen Sanghas explode for these kinds of reasons because of politics and stuff. And that's extremely negative karma. Like a lot of people running around doing this, gossiping, causing politics, getting, you know, people fighting, sectarianism. We don't like this group. these group, bunch of losers, we're the real tradition, they're not, blah, 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 blah. A lot of times people don't see just how negative that is, but I've seen it where there's been these kinds of divisions in politics in Tibetan Buddhism, and people quit the Dharma. People get so hurt, so abused, so cynical, so broken from this that they don't want to be Buddhist anymore. So literally, if I'm responsible for creating these divisions, I'm pushing people off the path to their own enlightenment. That's really, really bad. That might take them lifetimes to develop the faith enough and confidence and safety enough where they want to start meditating again. Like, I've literally held people back in samsara by those kinds of actions. So it's extremely negative. Like my teacher, David Gonzalez, this is years ago, was called eSang. I don't even know if it's on. It was kind of like an online forum. And he used to call that, what was it? The first class ticket to the lower realms, going on that chat, because it's everyone just throwing mud at each other. Oh, you're from this sect, you're a bunch of losers. Oh, that Matthew guy, don't study with him, he's like, it's just everyone being mean to each other, and it's all this negative karma. Oh, we don't like the Dalai Lama, we love the Dalai Lama. We don't like karma, but we love karma. Like, it's all this super negative stuff. And it's like, David says, why would anyone want to go read any of that, participate? It's so divisive and so negative. And you're just making everyone angry and cynical, creating all this kind of bad karma. So I think we have to be really careful with this, like, not just do all the politics, but also just be kind. Like, you know, we don't want to create divisions in the Sangha just because we don't like someone. Oh, someone is whatever, we don't like that guy's a loser, or she's a weirdo, or whatever. We don't want them coming to the Sangha anymore. Like, the Sangha belongs to everybody. Like, Buddhism is for everybody. We can't make these things about running around excluding people. So that's the one we have to be really careful about. We might not be creating a schism in the Sangha in the official legal sense, but in the smaller sense, we can create it. And okay, maybe we're not going to go to hell for doing it, but it's certainly going to cause a lot of bad karma. If anything, what Geshe Michael said once that I really like is, someone said, oh, I'm, you know, there's all these Tibetan Buddhist politics, what do I do? And he said, if this is the best answer I've ever seen, is he said, if you're in a world where there's this kind of sectarianism and these kinds of politics and division, that's because of your bad karma, that deep down you've created sectarianism and divisive and thoughts and favoritism and harsh speech. It's the echo of your bad karma to project you in a world where you're surrounded by people doing this. So what do? It's not like I have to change those people, call them out. I have to change my mind, because this bad karma and division is coming directly from me, right? That's the hard. It's way easier to go online on Twitter and start getting mad at everybody. That's the hard solution, is going into your mind and getting rid of your own inner divisive, your own judgmental mind, your own harsh speech mind, your divisive mind. Like, even when you're talking divisive speech, it's cleaving people apart, creating schisms, right? So we're about the 10 virtuous actions, which is kind speech, speech that brings everybody together, right? But that's religion, you know, like anytime you're in religion, there's always politics and problems, right? So we have to try really hard. That's because we're dealing with our delusions and negative minds. And the closer you're getting to holy beings and holy objects, the more it's purifying you. So sometimes people's minds get really, really crazy, right? Anyway, that's that. So any quick thank you very much. Bill just sent a really nice thank you very much, Bill. So thank you for showing up here and sent a really nice little chat there. So a quick question before we end here. Thanks, Bill. Thanks for coming. Okay. Well, that's good. It's maybe this is sort of easier distinctions, or sort of easier facts just to learn on this particular class. So anyway, I will say, so next week I do have a day off a week from now on Saturday. So I'll do a live class from Vancouver. I get back from work the previous day and go the following day, so I can have a live class. And I'm going to do a recording this week when I'm in Australia as well. Just so it'll be the next class we do will be the last particular one. So when I'm back at the end of the month on the 25th, we'll do a review class. question and answer, but I'm actually going to record just a short review class by myself where I just go over the information quick. So you can just listen to one class if you want, just with all the divisions. I'm just finding like there's just, you know, division of this, division of that, list of this, list of that. And you're like, oh my God. So I'd like to just have I'll just do a little recording where I just sum up the major points of this for karma. So you guys can get like a little bit of a sense for that. Okay. So thank you. Thanks for coming and thanks sharing for all this stuff. And we'll see you next time. So just take a quick moment to dedicate here. My blessings of all holy beings, all light beings, all of our gurus. And again, the truth of karma, causes and their effects, the power of a pure spirit intention of bodhicitta. May all of our dharma wishes be fulfilled, and all sentient beings reach enlightenment. Let's press stop here.